Throwback to 2018, and I was casually scrolling on Instagram when I saw the greatest thing since sliced bread, the Harry Potter minifigure series. My favorite Lego theme to ever exist had come back in full glory, and I was so excited. But best of all, it was an affordable entry point back into the theme, which for someone who was kind of in a dark age and buying the absolute bare minimum because they were too scared that someone from high school would see them carrying Lego, it was a blessing. These days, the series doesn't hold up with quite that same excitement, charm, and just even exclusivity level that it used to, but despite that, it is still a very, very solid minifigure series. The LEGO Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts series has been the largest minifigure series to date, with 22 different minifigures, which at the time all retailed for $4 each. Like in some of the previous minifigure series too, it did have a chase figure, which in this case was Percival Grave, as there was only one of him per box. And I assume that it was chosen to be him just to garner up some hype for the Fantastic Beasts movie, as this was released to sort of coincide with the second one. For general LEGO fans, the best part about these series was the introduction to the mid-legs. It is a piece that was way overdue and had many stop-motion animators crying tears of joy. For Harry Potter fans though, it was really the introduction of the brand new wand piece, which again was also way overdue, is a much needed upgrade, and 5 years later are scattered in every single corner of any room I have Lego in. Kicking off the series is the Golden Trio, Harry, Ron, and Hermione sporting their first ever Lego Hogwarts robes. The torsos and legs were massable to the likes of Lego Clone Troopers and resulted in me buying tons on the secondary market. Each of them varied slightly depending on the personality of the character, and they were executed so perfectly. Accompanying each of them as well was their various pets, which again look fantastic, and overall I think these were great executions of our main characters. Following them is Draco Malfoy, who is sporting his Slytherin Quidditch robes from the Chamber of Secrets. He also comes complete with a broom and what was at the time a brand new golden snitch mold, which looks incredible. Luna, in the only outfit people seem to ever remember her for, also made an appearance in this series, and unlike her original minifigure, sports a fabric skirt this time around and her own unique hairpiece, which to this day has continued to be used on her. Neville and a baby Mandrake are up next, and the recolor of the headphone piece for him was absolute genius, though one of the best parts for him, besides the plant pot and Mandrake print, was his plain black mid-legs. It was so easy to get them, so cheap, and could be used really easily. Cho was included, giving us our first ever Ravenclaw Hogwarts uniform print, which again is way overdue and was the most exciting thing about her. She did come with a skirt piece as well as an owl, and just like Neville, had some plain black legs. To mix up the Gryffindor uniform some more, we have Dean Thomas. Personally, I really love the scarf print on him, and I wish it would be brought back, especially in a variety of different house colors. He came along with a nice printed flag piece too, and made use of those mid-legs, which I'm really glad that they used, even though this version seems to be based off of the Philosopher's Stone in that Quidditch scene. Voldemort, of course, is in the series too, complete with Nagini, who takes the shape in what was at the time a brand new snake piece. For a CMF though, Voldemort is lacking in detail compared to some of the other characters in this series, and I don't think he necessarily needed all too much extra detail. Dobby luckily ditched his very creepy rubbery head mold for a far better plastic head in this series, and he looks absolutely adorable. He came with dual molded legs and, as to be expected, a tooth damage diary with, of course, his trusty dirty old sock. Professor Trelawney was the standout for me in this series with the amount of detailing on her. It is just incredible. I really think Lego did a fantastic job with her new hairpiece and bandana combo, and the head print too is just absolutely spot on for Emma Thompson. Her torso and dress printing is really intricate without being too much, and looks so accurate to her on-screen appearance. In line with her most famous scenes in The Prisoner of Azkaban too, she comes with a very cute teacup and saucer. Cedric Diggory in his maze outfit is a figure that I never thought we'd get. His jersey is really simple, but exactly what you would want, and Lego even went the extra mile too, giving his legs some very slight side leg printing, which I think is a pretty neat inclusion, despite not being totally necessary. Lastly though, he comes with a printed Triwizard cup, which looks great, but also is incredibly oversized. Adding to our lineup of professors, we have Flitwick, which there's really nothing super special about him, but just like the rest of the series, looks really accurate. He has a little megaphone looking thing, and his bow tie as well as a separate neck piece rather than a print, and not to mention his little coat tail piece, which unfortunately though does sort of make him fall over a couple of times. Mad-Eye Moody was a great addition for the CMF too, and the fact that they made him double as Barty Crouch Jr. was an amazing choice. He has a dual molded leg to represent his metal peg leg, and the printing looks great on both of them. Both head sides too have amazing detail, and I think personally look so much like their actors. The snake tongue on Barty Crouch Jr. is one of my favorite details though. I just think it is so funny and absolutely matches his character perfectly. Harry and his invisibility cloak is probably one of the weakest choices I think for the series, but even so, it was really good to get the invisibility cloak, especially in a version that doesn't just sit on top of his head. Underneath he's got his pajamas on, and also came with a brand new head print that was different from the ones that featured in the remaining 2018 line of sets. Dumbledore in his blue robes is exclusive to this series and has still yet to be remade in the modern theme, which I find really interesting. This Dumbledore had a new molded hat and hairpiece and beard, which to me look far more accurate than his previous versions. This time around too, Dumbledore has a printed dress piece instead of legs, which again I much prefer, and of course comes with the pensieve. Kicking off the Fantastic Beasts minifigures, we have Newt Scamander and his adorable Niffler. He's very similar overall to the one from the Dimensions pack, only this time his detailing is a little bit better, and he has this brand new case which you can actually fit his torso into, which I think is such a cool feature. Also returning from the Dimensions lineup is Tina, this time in a light blue coat with a recolored version of the basic Lego hot dog piece. Unlike a lot of the characters in this series though, she actually has a double-sided face, which is a much welcome addition. Jacob reuses the same case as Newt, however this time he's got some printed cakes inside. The rest of him though is really plain and kind of feels lacking for a CMF when it comes to detail, but honestly I think it's just the right amount for this outfit. Alongside him comes Queenie with some excellent printing on her torso and legs, including even these like slanted wedge heels. Her head print too has a gigantic smile and comes along with this really beautifully printed pastry piece, though I find it kind of hard to get her to hold it sometimes. The last weakling for the series though is Credence, where the best part about him is honestly just his double-sided head. I really love the reflective eyes they gave him, but overall his torso is really lacking. He comes along with a printed 1x2 tile, but besides that there really isn't that much going on with him. And lastly is the chase figure of this series, Percival Graves, who like Mad-Eye Moody doubles as his alternate character Grindelwald. He has a new and great looking dual molded hairpiece as well as an alternate hairpiece for Grindelwald. Both faces look awesome and the printing on the torso and legs is very simple and very clean. At the time of release, the CMF had so much variety and a really great selection of characters, and honestly was the perfect way to kickstart the brand new revival of the LEGO Harry Potter theme. However, in 2023, a lot of these characters and a lot of these outfits have been repeated in just the standard line of sets, which really devalues this series overall. And all of those decisions meant that this series lost a lot of its appeal really quickly just because of how broad and mass appealing a lot of the decisions that LEGO made were for this CMF. It really was a double-edged sword though, because I think that was an amazing thing to do for the first CMF to really hook people in, and it's also I guess a good thing too because then new fans are able to get these minifigures in regular retail sets and don't actually have to go back to this series. But if the series was something you missed and have been debating going and getting, honestly I think you could skip most of it besides a couple of minifigures like Dumbledore, Trelawney, and I guess even to an extent Dean Thomas and Mad-Eye Moody. But let me know what you guys think of the original Harry Potter CMF in the comments down below, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below, and be sure to check out all of my other LEGO Harry Potter reviews, and until next time of course, I'll see you later.